So I'm going to be making a fluid art piece here called a Dutch pour for my son who is about to go away to college, my firstborn. He's going to be a UF Gator, so go Gators. So first things first, if you want to do a fluid art pour, in this particular pour, you're going to need your basic ingredients. So you're going to be needing a base coat to cover the entire canvas. And the reason why we have to have a base coat on there is so the paint that layers on top can slip and slide and make all kinds of fun movements. And then you want to choose your colors. Now, because the Florida Gators are dark blue and orange, I have two shades of blue. So I got that original dark blue and I got a light blue because the two different shades of blue together gives it some depth. And then I got a darker orange and a lighter orange. Now for my base, you'll need some cups. This is gonna be for the base. The base has to have the most because it's gonna cover the most surface area. And I got my hair dryer for this particular one. And then you have to have Floetrol. So you give it a good shake and we get set up. So I'm going to start with the blues. I'm gonna pour, and honestly, I eyeball it a lot, but I say about a tablespoon or so of paint and just put it at the bottom of the cup. All right, the tablespoon again, and then the lighter orange. Again, that is for depth. You'll see what I mean when I start pouring and blowing the hair dryer. I'm going with it. Gonna mix it up a little bit with just a plastic spoon. Pour the rest up there until we get to about the 8-ounce line. I like to mix it up a little first and then pour the rest on. Just mix this quicker. And then I got the dark blue. Do a little mix here. All right, let's mix this up and see how it is. So if I compare it to the sticker, it's okay. It just needs just a little bit darker, a little more navy. So I'm gonna put just a tiny bit black. Black goes a long way. If you're trying to make your colors darker, you just need a tiny bit of black because it's so pigmented and opaque that it'll just take over everything. We really need it to be opaque, so I'm gonna put about 2 or 3 tablespoons and I'm eyeballing it. I'll put a lot more in here. Like I said, we need to have a bigger cup for the base because it covers more surface area. We're ready. So, I'm gonna take the base cup that has all the white in it. I'm just gonna pour it straight in the middle. Get all the good stuff out. 2 fingers, and we're just gonna spread it all towards the edges and the corners. All right, and I like to wrap my finger around the edges too, just make sure everything is nice and spread out. And now I'm gonna make a somewhat of an X in the middle. Now, it depends on the type of pour that you do. With Dutch pours, when we pour the paint in the middle of the colored paint, we don't want most of the white base to be in the center because then it'll all slide off. We want the colors to be from the center and stretching out, and you'll see what I mean. So now I have my 4 colors. I'm going to start with, let's start with the light blue. And I'm just going to make an X in the middle, still save some, I'll need more later. And then I'll take the darker blue and go directly on top of it, maybe a little near the side, following the same pattern. And we'll do the same for the light orange and then the dark orange. Now certain colors mix great together. Orange and blue, not so much. So we don't want to mix this too much. It turns brown. Then I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Keep going. Maybe I'll go up and more in the center this time. All right, dark orange. This looks like it's gonna be enough. I'm gonna start from the center and I'm gonna blow everything off in the corners. It's gonna make this cool looking effect. You'll see. So, if you can take a look, you'll see all these little white dots coming up in the corners. These are called cells. And you can see over here, there's a lot more blue than orange, but the orange is starting to pop out. You just gotta let everything settle. Eventually, I'll be able to put that directly on top of that mixed mess right there. and it'll turn out beautiful. So that's gonna take a few days for this to dry. Dutch pours don't really take too long. Maybe, I want to say 2 days. And then I'm gonna seal this down, put a little bit of resin on this so it sticks, then cover the whole piece in resin. All right, today's the day. I am finally going to resin the piece. So I put the sticker on. Take a look. When I add the resin onto the top, it's going to drip onto the sides. So I'm just putting the silicone mats underneath, so if everything drips off, it won't be able to stick to the actual jars. Normally I have these huge like push pins that I stick underneath. I gotta go and find some. I'll do that next time. So I'm going to be using this clear cast epoxy. Epoxy and resin are basically the same thing. The main difference really is that with epoxy, usually it's more for surface areas or construction use, whereas craft resin is usually called resin. They're just different chemical compositions. One is more higher quality if you're going to be using a, let's say, garage floor, which we could definitely use that for our garage floor. All right, so we're gonna take parts A, parts B, and we're going to mix it together.